Now I gotta go close my door. Because my dog just walked out. Alright, so let me explain what I did. I didn't take my stylus out. Alright, so since last time, what I did was I went ahead and pre-walked all of my eggs. All of them. That way the process can go a lot faster. So you can see here, this egg will hatch soon. So I have a little bit of explaining to do. Yeah. First of all, I kind of forgot that here in the very last box, I forgot I needed like 4 more eggs. Like if you take a look here, you can see the date I received this, and then you can see just the difference in time that I received these last 4 eggs. It was 4, not 5. So yeah, I kind of forgot I needed 4 more eggs, so there you go. Now I do have those. Okay. So yes. Like 3/4 into the last stream, I realized, why don't I just walk all of these ahead of time just to save some time? Listen, you guys know I'm stupid. I don't think before I do things. Ugh. So yeah, the idea just never came to me. And also, no one suggested it to me. Let me just make sure this is straight. So, let me explain something that I had to do. So, the way I did this was I counted how many laps around Prism Tower I did. We've established in the past, we've established previously that these eggs take maybe 13 1/3 laps around Prism Tower. What I did was I did 12 laps around the tower. What I need to explain is, what about some of the eggs that hatch a little bit faster because they have a little bit of extra steps put in? Well, I found that within average, those eggs hatch around 11 laps. So, I did 10 laps. Every time I had an egg that hatched a little bit early, and I could tell because it didn't reach 12 laps around the tower. So whenever an egg hatched early, I did 10 laps instead. That way, you know, I still get steps in before it hatches. I've seen none of the Pokemon inside. I have not seen if any of them are shiny or not. I kept it authentic. Every time an egg hatched early, I would restart the game. I would soft reset so I can, you know, properly put in some hatch times before it hatches. Which meant I saved after every time I put in steps for a group of 5 eggs. Is that everything I need to say? Yeah, I did 12 laps around the tower for each group of eggs. The ones that hatch a little bit earlier, I did 10 instead. And I've seen none of them if they're shiny or not. I'm keeping it authentic. I have not seen if any of them are shiny. So hopefully, this will speed up the process so we could get shinies faster. Only thing is, that's a lot more extra work for me, you know? Aside from collecting these eggs, which take an absurd amount of time, I then need to, you know, pre-walk all of them. So that's just a lot of extra work for me. But hey, in the long run, it'll be better for you guys. Look at that. By now, we would still be nowhere near hatching the first set of eggs. Maybe we'll hatch all of them tonight. I don't know. But I pre-walked all of my eggs in advance just in case. Just in case I actually do manage to hatch all of them tonight. But we'll see. Alright, let me put on some music. So I don't know how loud this is actually. I'm gonna turn it down a bit. And forgive me tonight. I think I have a little bit of indigestion tonight. So, we have a couple of episodes worth of shows to worth to talk about today. Before I talk about that, let's see. Earlier today, I got a shiny Seismitoad from Dynamax Adventures. You know, on the grind for another shiny Necrozma. Right now, and I mean right this second, I am hunting for one final shiny Rockruff. I figured I'm so close, I may as well complete the whole line, right? Like every form. I accidentally got a Vital Spirit ability Rockruff as the start. Can this focus, please? There we go. I accidentally got that, so that can be a midday form. I got 4 female own temple ones, trying to get a male one, so that alone's a, you know, that covers the shiny Rockruff. I finally got a male one, which turned into a dusk form Lycanroc. So now I just need one more regular ability shiny Rockruff to get the midnight form. Can you believe? Would you believe that the midnight form for Lycanroc is my least favorite, despite it being red, my favorite color? My favorite form, I don't know, it's like tied between midday and dusk form. Maybe dusk form since it's technically more special. You know, it's like the dusk form is my favorite when orange is like one of my least favorite colors. I don't hate it, it's just not one of my top favorites. So it's like, wow, that's a first. I choose something orange over red. Now, if Midnight Lycanroc was on all 4s, like the other 2 forms are, and was actually red, that would easily be my favorite. But sadly, that's not how it is. And also, there's maintenance going on in Scarlet and Violet right now. So I'm not able to connect to my other Switch and give myself unlimited Sparkling Power 3 sandwich boosts. So right now, I can only resort to using level 2 encounter rock sandwiches. It's a little bit of a hassle, but it's whatever. I got the Shiny Charm, I have an Outbreak that already have 60 knocked out, so it's whatever. You know, I'm not in a hurry to get this shiny, right? If there's one thing you gain from shiny hunting, it's patience. At least I hope. So I think moving forward, I'm going to do this. Every time I get 810 eggs, I'm going to pre-walk them just to make the process faster. Now, that may delay me from doing this like as frequently as I thought. Like right now I'm doing this, or at least the plan was, right now I do this every other day. And then, you know, eventually that would move on to basically every single day. But if I'm going to do it like this, where I pre-walk the eggs ahead of time, that's going to take time to do. So I might not do this as frequently as I thought. But I think you guys will forgive, right? Right? It'll be quality instead of quantity. Even though, let's face it, is this really quality, though? I hope the music's not too loud. Nobody's here to tell me. Nobody here is to give me feedback. So if it's too loud or too quiet, it is what it is. Wait, that's not where the Pokemon Center is. Let's see. So, we have a couple of episodes, a couple of shows to talk about today. We have Daryl Dixon Season 2, Episode 3. I talked about Agatha all along last time. The new episode's not out yet. The episode's coming out tomorrow, so I don't have an Agatha episode to talk about today. We do have Penguin to talk about. Penguin Episode 4. Superman and Lois Season 2, Episode... Season 2. Superman and Lois Season 4, Episode 3. And then, From Episode 2. Man, I'm waiting to talk about that one. I'm waiting for my friend to show up and watch as I talk about that one, because, man, I want him to hear my thoughts about that episode. You see, this is one, I can already tell, I think. This is one where the egg hatched a little bit earlier than the rest. Like, if I take one step forward, because I just left the Pokemon Center. I take one step. Oh, never mind. Maybe I'm just paying attention that little. Paying that little attention. Alright, so let's start with Daryl Dixon, Season 2, Episode 3. Now, I heard some people say that this episode was terrible. So I'm just like, oh no, that's not a good sign. Well, I watched the episode. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad, per se. You know, there are moments that are like, right? But overall, the episode itself was fine. It wasn't bad. You know, I heard both sides. I heard this episode was terrible, and then I heard this episode was the best yet of the season. I definitely don't think it was terrible. It wasn't a bad episode. There were just moments that were questionable. Alright, so we knew previously that the Nest, their whole stupid-ass plan, is to get Laurent bit to prove that he is indeed the cure, the savior of the world. Prove that if he gets bit, he will not turn. And if he does turn, well, they're done for. They're screwed. Let's see. So I think the episode opens up with... I think it opens up with Sylvie frantically searching for Laurent. So Sylvie runs around, tries to look for Laurent, and then she gets stopped by Losang. She goes up, like she climbs up. She gets surrounded by a bunch of guys trying to stop and detain her. And then she just falls off the edge and dies. She just instantly dies. It's like, well, what a sudden and somewhat lame and underwhelming death. She just falls and dies. Like, at the beginning of the episode. She was an original character, like, all the way in Season 1. She was a Season 1 character. Granted, we're only halfway into Season 2. And she was more of a background character. But still, like, this was a character from Season 1. And they just kill her off in such a lame way. Now, at least she died from an accident. You know, if the Nest killed her just to have a walker to bite Laurent, then the Nest is pretty corrupt. But the fact that she just died from an accident, you know, at least, you know, that's not how the Nest is. The Nest don't kill for the sake of it, right? To serve their own needs. It happened by accident. So at least there's that. Oh, okay, now they have Sylvie. They have Sylvie's dead body, which will walkerify at some point. Man, I don't know how she could have died. Okay, she fell off. It didn't look like that high of a fall. Maybe she landed on her head. But the thing is, there was a big pool of blood underneath her. It's underneath her face. It's like, how did that happen, right? Did she break her neck and then like a bone stuck out? And then that's where all the blood came from? It's like, how did that happen? Okay, so, we also see Carol. Like, we jump back and forth between Daryl and Carol. Now, I'm a little glad that they haven't reunited yet. You know, it would have been pretty underwhelming, you know, the Ones Who Live style, for them to reunite at the end of episode 1. But then again, it's like, okay, I'm glad you didn't rush it like the Ones Who Live did, but, you know, you might want to pick up the pace a teensy bit since you only have 6 episodes and we're already on 3 without a reunion, so you might want to pick up the pace a teensy bit. So, I really hope they reunite. I really hope Daryl and Carol reunite in episode 4, because if not, it's like, you guys, at this point, better pick up the pace. We want to see these characters together on screen, and at this point we have half a season left to do that. Which is not a lot. 3 episodes is not a lot. Whoops, I only put 4 eggs there. So, we went over to Carol's story. She's taken to Pouvoir. No, that's not how the episode opens. What the hell am I talking about? The episode opens with a flashback to Madame Gené's origin story. So she was working as a janitor in the Louvre, where the Mona Lisa's held. And then, you know, Monument Day happens. The outbreak happens. You know, Paris is frantic. So, the police are stopping everyone from either entering or exiting the Louvre. Her husband shows up, which we never even knew she had a husband. We don't even get his name, for God's sake. He just shows up. Like, they're not allowed to you know, get to each other, even though they're right at the doors. The police are stopping them, so they walk a little bit forward to maybe another door, but then they stop to stare at each other through the glass. And then walkers show up. They kill him. Of course, Gené is upset. She's, you know, she's crying that her husband just died. But, like, damn, this guy just tanks it. This guy's getting torn apart, and he just went, no reaction. He didn't react at all. He didn't scream. He didn't make a face. He didn't do anything. He just got bit, and he just had a straight face. He mostly had just a straight face. He had no reaction to getting bit. Getting his, you know, body torn apart. Like... And wouldn't you think this guy would have a little bit more survival instincts? You see what you presume to be sick people approaching you. Wouldn't you at least try to push them away or even defend yourself instead of just stand there and let them do whatever it was they were planning to do, which we know was eat you? Anyways, though, that guy, he died. That's just natural selection, I suppose. Am I crazy for thinking young Madame Gené was a bit of a baddie, though? Am I crazy? Anyways, so, yeah. And then we cut over to Carol over at Pouvoir. She's staring at the Mona Lisa. She talks with Madame Gené, telling her that this is the real Mona Lisa, you know? Carol's like, how do you know it's not a fake? I just love Madame Gené. She's just like, because I pulled it from the fucking wall myself. I just think that was pretty funny. And I really love that the Walking Dead spin-offs are finally getting a chance to, you know, use the F-bomb. It just didn't make sense. Like, in this universe, no one swears. No one says the F word, right? When you would think, like, oh my god, like, that would be one of the more common swear words you would use, right? So, and then this, okay, so Pouvoir is feeding the people there. One of the guys, he's just like, what is this slop? And just dumps it on the floor. Does he not know who Madame Genet is? And did he not know she was standing right there? Like, are you serious, man? You're gonna harass the worker serving you food? And then you're just gonna be like, this sucks. Dumps it on the floor. Oops. Luckily, this guy got schooled. He got served a piece of humble pie. You know, Madame Genet approaches is like, don't you know food is a valuable resource and how scarce it is these days? Yes, madam. Then you won't have a problem licking it off the floor. Man, this dude even had the nerve to give off the facial expression like, are you serious? Madame Genet's like, yes, I'm very serious, with her facial expression. And then he submits and does it. Rightfully so. Deservingly so. Anyway, so yeah, now we cut to Sylvie searching for Laurent and dies. We also see Daryl, Isabelle, and Falou return to the nest, and they're about to save Laurent. Now, as the ceremony is about to begin, and Losang is about to have Laurent be bit, he actually, you know, kind of spikes a drink for him with like a relaxant to have Laurent be kind of dazed so he won't fight back from being bit. And then typical Walking Dead trope, because we've seen it happen all the time. A character is about to be bit, so the Walker Sylvie is just about to bite Laurent. At that particular moment, just before teeth sink into flesh, Daryl shoots an arrow and puts down Sylvie. Right at the last moment. You know, we've seen it before. It's nothing new, we've seen it before. And then, this sequence was a teensy bit goofy to me. It was just a teensy bit goofy to me. So, they're trying to run away and hide. They're trying to get Laurent to safety. So, Daryl splits up with Isabelle, Falou, and Laurent. So, Daryl can lead the people away while they get Laurent to safety. So there's this pretty long one-shot sequence, you know, Daredevil style, where Daryl just fights off a bunch of guys. And I mean a bunch of guys. I was thinking, one, where are all these guys coming from? Right? They're just all spawning in out of nowhere. And another thing, it's like, why didn't these guys fight all at once? Why did they come one at a time against Daryl? So anyways, Daryl goes beast mode and just kills them one at a time. I don't know. It was cool, yeah, but it was also a little unbelievable. You know, to think, like, these guys have been, I assume, trained at the nest for how long now? They can't handle one person? One person who managed to kill all of them with just random stuff he found in a warehouse. Not a warehouse, but you know what I mean. In like a shed. A place that holds supplies or whatever. Like a basement kind of place that holds a bunch of like gardening tools or whatnot. Whatever Daryl used. He just picks up random stuff and just keeps on killing them with it. So, yeah, Daryl just like, in a way, kind of unbelievably kills a person. Like, kills people after people. And he just gets away pretty unscathed. Eventually, he's stopped. He's captured. Falou gets Laurent out, but Isabelle stays back because she loves Daryl and she has to go back and make sure he's okay. Well, Daryl's captured. We go back to Carol. Carol and that English teacher, well, they actually see what Pouvoir is doing, like their experiments with these super walkers. Anyway, so, yeah, Carol asks around for, you know, she's looking for an American, eventually crossing paths with Condron. And, you know, in a way, it kind of doesn't make sense that Codrone would help him, or help Carol. You know, help Carol find Daryl. Because, you know, Daryl killed Codrone's brother, even though technically Daryl didn't. He just mortally wounded and the other people killed him, but he doesn't know that. So whatever. So, like, Codrone wants Daryl dead, but he doesn't want Laurent dead. He doesn't want kids to die, but he wants Daryl to die. So, you know, his conscience is, like, outweighing his own desire to kill Daryl. So he won't tell Pouvoir where the nest is to kill Laurent, even if it will mean killing Daryl as well. Because, you know, Madame Genet wants Daryl just as dead. So, yeah, Carol comes across Codrone. She's like, can you help me find him? Daryl's my brother. Now, it's just convenience, you know? Carol didn't know that Codrone had a brother, you know, so she didn't use that against him to tug at his heartstrings like, oh, he's your brother too? I had a brother once. It's not like that. Carol didn't tug at his heartstrings like she did for Ash. She just coincidentally said that Daryl's her brother to someone who had a brother. So it was just a coincidence, right? I don't know, I think Carol finding a plane the moment she needed one was a bigger coincidence than this. But yeah, Carol says that Daryl is her brother. She said Daryl is the last remaining family she has. Well, she gets taken away. Carol is trying to escape. She says goodbye to her English teacher friend first. So she gets on a horse, tries to get away, but then she's captured. Because that English teacher ratted her out in order to, in order to get his own loved one saved. Okay, I am moving on from hunting Rockruff to hunting Necrozma. I just need to swap my games real quick. Oh shit, I almost dropped my game. I just need to change up my button mapping for my Joy-Con. And then I need to open the game, connect online. Oh, one Pansage was hatched from there, so I'm not done yet. Okay, so, Carol comes face to face with Genet. And, you know, Genet can tell that Carol's lying, right? Remember, Madame Genet is a tough cookie. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Madame Genet is a tough cookie. Remember, she was able to tell when Codrone was lying to her. So, when Madame Genet asked Carol, no more lies. What are you really doing here? Well, Carol told her literally just the truth. I manipulated an innocent man with the false geist that, you know, I came here looking for my daughter. We stopped in Greenland and we were almost killed by two people who wanted to use him as a sperm donor. Like, you know, her story sounds so ridiculous that Madame Genet started laughing. Like, are you serious? You expect me to believe that? I think she did believe that, as ridiculous as that sounded. And then Carol lied. Carol lied and said, I came all the way here to kill Daryl. I think Janae knew that she lied about that part. Because no sane person would go across the planet during a zombie apocalypse just to kill one person. Like, come on now. So, yeah, Madame Janae just goes with it for a bit. She said, you want to kill Daryl? I'll take you to him. You know, Carol's just like, oh my god, this is my chance. I'm literally being taken to where Daryl is. Yeah, Daryl and Isabel get locked up in like a shower place. They're held there for the night. They talk about Tinkerbell and Peter Pan, I think. They share a nice, you know, a nice touching moment together. Carol shows up at outside the nest, where Pouvoir brought a lot of people over. They're ready to execute all of them and turn them all into super walkers. Carol steps in and is like, you're gonna kill all of them? Yes, and now I'm gonna give you what you want. You're gonna kill your friend. Madame Janae actually puts Carol with all the other people who are about to die, and then the episode ends. So I'm very curious, like, I am extremely curious, how on earth is Carol gonna survive this? If she's not gonna be shot to death, right? There's gonna be dead bodies piled on top of her. She can't exactly get up and run the other direction. The people with guns will just shoot her, right? And if she doesn't, you know, if she does die, she'll be turned into a super walker. If she doesn't die, she'll have walkers surrounding her, super walkers, and if she tries to get up and run away, well, she'll be shot at. So how on earth is Carol going to survive this? I'm very curious. You already know. They're going to write something that's going to be super convenient, like, oh my god, Carol survived just because this conveniently happened at this moment. And, well, yeah, it is quite a cliffhanger. Like, how is Carol going to survive this? Now, I easily could just watch the leaked episodes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to watch this intended, how it was intended, that is, weekly. So I won't know how Carol survives until the next Sunday, or this upcoming Sunday. It's Tuesday today. Alright, now that Daryl Dixon Season 2 has been talked about, let's talk about Penguin next. This is episode 5, right? No, it's episode 4. Yeah, episode 4. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, episode 4, because it's one episode behind in terms of numbers for Agatha. Agatha had episode 5, meaning this is episode 4. So, episode 4, this was mostly a Sophia-centered episode. This episode was just flashbacks. Like, all of it was flashbacks. Well, actually, no. No, it's not. Some of it was. Most of it was. Because at the beginning of the episode, we flash back to literally where the last episode ended, where Oz was about to be executed by the Maronis. And then we see the other perspective. We see their perspective, and not the perspective of Vic coming and saving Oz. So instead, what we see is we see Maroni's Salvador Maroni's wife, I forget her name, spill the beans that, you know, Oz has been playing both sides, and it was actually Oz who killed Alberto Falcone. So now Sophia knows that Oz was the one who killed her brother. So once Sophia found this out, that's when Victor swooped in and saved him. Now they're gone. Sophia, injured and, you know, fading out of consciousness, she calls Dr. Julian Rush for help. And then we flash back to how we flash back to how Sophia ended up in Arkham. So we learned like a decade ago, we already knew that Oz was her driver. A decade ago, Sophia and her father Carmine, they started a fundraiser, I think, for, you know, like mental health for girls and women. Because Sophia's mother, as a kid, took her own life. So then she gets stopped. Like she has a talk with someone from the Gotham Gazette Press. I forget her name. Anyways, like it's brought to her attention that recently a lot of girls have been dying, and they all look like they have like strangle marks on their neck, almost like, you know, they were being hung. So then Sophia kind of connects the dots, like, my father. No, she was also told, like, it almost seems like they fought back. She notices her father has, like, scratch marks or whatever, blah, blah, blah. She meets with the reporter. Oz actually snitches, you know, thinking that it was for her own good. So Oz tells Carmine that, yo, your daughter is speaking with the press about, you know, possibly something about you, I guess. Anyway, Carmine, being a scumbag dad, she actually tries to cover up his own crimes by pinning it all on Sophia, who is innocent. And then Sophia ends up in Arkham. Now, Arkham is, you know, for the mentally insane. And Sophia didn't commit those crimes. She is sane. But obviously, no one in Arkham believes her. Not even the doctors. She keeps saying she's innocent. And the doctors are like, yeah, sure, we believe you. Nobody insane has ever claimed that they're sane and innocent. Well, Sophia at first believes she only needs to spend 6 months there. After 6 months, she'll be given a trial. So she gets in there, and this is kind of hard to watch, to see someone innocent be treated that brutally in a dirty-ass place like Arkham Asylum. So, yeah, while in her cell, she actually meets Magpie, of all people. Anyway, so 6 months passes, and then Alberto gives the unfortunate news, like the judge doesn't, the doctor gave the note to the judge, deeming you unfit, unstable. So the judge already denied you a trial. You're not coming out anytime soon. Sophia ended up staying in Arkham Asylum for 10 years, for a decade. You know, despite being innocent. So, she actually kills Magpie out of rage. And we also see the quote-unquote bliss drug be used on the, you know, the inmates there. Well, yeah, 10 years of Arkham Asylum torture, being innocent, has hardened Sophia, and she has kind of just accepted that this is going to be her life moving forward. She's going to be branded the Hanged Man, even though she isn't. She is innocent, as it turns out. She really is. She's a little crazy now, but she hasn't really done anything before that. It's mostly just being broken by the Arkham system. So by the end of the episode, you know, she was supposed to leave for, I think it was Italy, you know, to not be there for her Uncle Luca's something. I can't remember exactly all the details. She shows up anyways against Johnny Viti's demands. And then, you know, she makes a scene at dinner. She's like, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna start a new life. And that turns out what she did. I think she gassed the entire building. She saved her friend's daughter, like the little girl. She's just like, do you want to eat cake? We can eat cake in the greenhouse. We could sleep here too. So she's safe from the gas. Sophia gasses the building. I don't know if she killed everyone. Maybe she did. I don't know. Or maybe she just knocked them all out. She goes in. She opens all the windows, I think. I don't know. And then she tells Johnny Viti to wake up. We need to talk. Am I crazy for thinking Sophia is a bit of a baddie? Like, I'd smash. What? Well, that would be Penguin, episode 4 in a nutshell. This was a very Sophia-heavy episode, so there was very little Oz in it. The only scenes we really see for Oz is, you know, the continuation of the scene from the ending of the last episode, and flashback scenes to where Oz was Sophia's driver. I like the tiny little detail that Oz had a little bit more hair on his head because he was a little bit younger. I mean, hey, that's gonna be me now, right? Okay, I think it's time to change up the music. Do I have more eggs, right? Yeah, I only have 2 out of 5. Well, this came to mind, so I'm gonna play it. Oh, you know what? No, I'm gonna play this instead. I don't know how well you can hear that. I'm sure you can hear it now. Maybe I'll turn this down a little bit. So, I was wondering, when in the season would Sophia find out that Oz was the one who killed Alberto? Because they can't put it out for too long, and they also can't have Sophia never find out. So I guess it's now, halfway into the season. So the dynamic now is totally changed. Which means, like, not only was Victor now also a target of the Maronis, Victor is also a target now of the Falcones as well, because he helped Oz. So Vic really kind of screwed himself over by not going with Gabrielle, or Gabriella. I think it's Gabrielle. Sure, he may have saved Oz's life, but, you know, he kind of screwed himself over. Unless both Maronis and Falcones all die, they're kind of screwed. You see just how much faster we're hatching these eggs? Now that I walked them ahead of time? I think that's all the eggs? No, that's just one. Okay, now that Penguin's out of the way, let's talk about Superman and Lois. This one's episode 3 of season 4. This episode was pretty good. Trying to think, how did this episode open? Oh, right. It opened with a misdirect, kinda. Lois is narrating. The boys are dressing up. They're about to, pay their respects for a funeral. We assume it was for Clark. And then the episode, plays around with time. We constantly, flash back to Clark and Lois telling Sam Lane that Clark is Superman. And then Clark asking for Sam's blessing to marry Lois. In present day, Jonathan finally gets his powers. So Jonathan finally manifests Kryptonian powers. Finally. Finally. I was afraid how long they were going to drag this out for. Thankfully, with Season 4 being the final season, they're just alright, let's just give him powers. I'm not gonna lie, I got chills when he got his powers. It's a bit of a shame, I'll be honest. It's a bit of a shame that Jordan Elsas isn't playing Jonathan anymore. I would have loved to see him be the one to get powers, but it is what it is. Sadly, it's not Jordan playing Jonathan anymore. Just gotta deal with it. So, yeah, Jonathan finally gets his powers. Lois agrees, okay, I'm gonna take you to your grandfather at the DOD, and he's gonna train you. Not only that, John Henry Irons and Natalie are also discussing, will they join Sam's program or not, and they agreed. Because, they were thinking, the world just lost Superman. If even Superman couldn't stop that thing, stopping Doomsday, who can if not us, right? If they don't try, then no one can stop Doomsday. So they both agreed. Meanwhile, Sam Lane at the DOD is also asking, do they have any more of the serum that Bruno Mannheim tried to use on his wife? No, not his wife. I think it was his wife. That derived from Superman's blood, right? They have one vial left. So it seems like Sam Lane wanted to make his own monster to fight Doomsday so they can have an equal chance. But instead, he ended up... Well, actually, I'm not going to say that just yet because we're not at that point of the episode yet. It's kind of funny. Jordan was in the barn. He flashed back to the very first episode where he and Jonathan got hurt. They were underneath all those steel pipes. They recreated it hiding the original Jonathan face. I just thought that was pretty funny. So then Lex Luthor shows up out of nowhere. I guess he somehow knew Lois wasn't home, or he just came at a coincidental time, a pretty convenient time. So then, the thing that happened in the last episode, where Lois was given an ultimatum, choose which son to survive, Lex plays that for Jordan to hear, and I'm just Jordan, you cannot be serious. You cannot seriously be mad at this, right? Well, we didn't find out at the last episode who Lois chose. It's you can only choose one son. Press 1 if you want Jonathan to live. Press 2 if you want Jordan to live. So Lois chose one. We didn't hear who she chose last episode. We learn now that she chose Jonathan. And it makes sense. It makes sense. Lois didn't know where both of her sons were. She didn't know where they were, if they were safe or not. Her getting that phone call, she can only assume that they were in trouble. So, Lois, knowing one of her sons has powers and could probably help himself better than the other one, she chose the more defenseless one, being Jonathan. It just makes sense, right? I don't think Lois would have chose Jonathan for the reason oh my god, Jordan is such a pain now that he has powers, to that inflated ego of his, right? So it's come on, Jordan, you really got upset over that? I'm thinking, if my parents had to choose one kid to survive between my sister or myself, I would not be too mad, right? I would not be too mad if they chose my sister. In a way, it wouldn't make more sense that my parents choose my sister. My sister is married. You know, she has the better chance to give grandkids anytime soon. Turn off the ads? I don't know how to turn off the ads. Yeah, if my parents, it would kind of make sense, right? My sister's much smarter than me. She does way more than me. I kind of don't do anything but take up space, so it's like, if they chose my sister over me, like, I kind of don't blame them. It makes sense. In fact, it would make no sense if they chose me over her. So anyways, yeah, Jordan confronts Lois, like, you chose Jonathan over me? I'm just thinking, no, you seriously are not mad at that, are you? Like, come on, Jordan. You know what your mother's gone through. You know who Lex Luthor is. Come on, you can't seriously be mad at that. You have to understand, she was put in an impossible position, right? Like, Jordan even pulled up the argument, like, I was in danger. Jonathan was safe. I was the one in danger. Lois didn't know that. And she said that. I didn't know you were in danger. So I don't know. It's like, well, teenage angst. He's mad about that. It's like, whatever. So, Sam Lane gets held at gunpoint, like, you know, Lex Luthor is threatening one of the workers. It's like, either you tell me where my daughter is, or I will send someone else to get that information out of you. He's about to send Doomsday his way. So, Sam gets shot, and then he takes the serum, because he doesn't have any other choice. So, Doomsday arrives, he sacrifices himself. He just, you know, stands before Doomsday, and Doomsday just kills him on the spot. But that was his plan. His plan was to have someone be a donor, a heart donor for Clark. So he would inject someone with that serum that Bruno Mannheim made, and then donate that heart to Superman to try to bring him back. Well, it ended up being him, because he was kind of on the spot. So, rest in peace to Sam Lane. You can definitely tell the budget cuts, right? Now, I heard a theory. This theory might still play out. So, in the episode, John Henry Irons quickly brings Sam Lane's freshly dead corpse to the Fortress of Solitude. Tells Laura Lorvan, like, hurry up, you need to transplant the heart now, while it's still fresh and before the serum wears off. She's just like, you know, it is not compatible. He has a human heart. John is explaining he took a serum. It should work. Like, if not, this is the best chance we have. So, they do the transplant, and the theory I heard, actually, was they would use Doomsday's heart. Because Doomsday is Bizarro, who is Clark Kent from another Earth. So he should have a heart that works. The outside of him mutated. I doubt the inside did. So the one theory I heard was they're going to bring Superman back with Doomsday's heart. Yeah, that would make sense. Now, whether or not that'll play out still, we'll have to see. Because they're saying Sam Lane's, you know, drug-induced heart might temporarily work, but it's still human, so it won't be a permanent fix. So, you see where I'm going at? Maybe later on they discover we can use Doomsday's heart? So, yeah. I also found this kind of funny, too. So, when they were accepting that Sam died, he left this, like, holographic video of himself. And I find it funny that the hologram, the video playing, he looks off to the side exactly where Lois is standing. You would think he would look straight ahead, not coincidentally to the side where she is standing. I just thought that was funny. What if Lois was standing on the other side of the room? Would she walk over to make eye contact? So yeah, Sam Lane is dead. But then the episode ends with us cutting towards the Fortress of Solitude. Superman opens his eyes and takes a deep breath, and then the episode ends. So it seems like the transplant heart is working, at least for now. We'll have to see if the Doomsday Heart theory plays out later on. I don't know, I kind of thought he would need to be, out of commission for a little longer, but it's the final season. We want to see some Superman action. They couldn't have played it out for too long, We also get this, pretty awesome sequence of Steel and I think her name was, Starlight? Whatever her code name was. Them fighting against Doomsday. Pretty awesome. CGI is pretty good. It doesn't look, the most polished, but, for a damn CW show, it looks immaculate. And leagues better than the Flash CGI ever did. I still can't believe this is a CW show. It's almost like the CW said, yo, let's actually try with this show. Because people will be pissed off if we do a Superman show that looks terrible. Alright. So, Superman and Lois. I think I forgot to mention about the previous episode. So, remember that Chuck guy? He notices that Lois was crying a little too emotionally for Superman. I don't think I even remembered to mention this. He pieced together that, Superman is Lois's husband. Lois Lane is married to Superman. He pieced that together because he lost his wife not long ago, and he recognizes what that emotion looks like. So he was able to piece it together. Lois was just like, oh, I didn't think anyone saw Jordan fly away. And I'm just like, at first I was thinking, yeah, you probably could have moved him to the side before making Jordan fly off, but, that wasn't the reason, right? Anyway, that's Superman and Lois, episode 3 of the final season. Pretty good. Alright, now that this bozo's here and watching, let me talk about the last show I have to talk about. That is episode 2 of From. Oh boy, this episode. Tisk. So let me just start off by saying that for the last week, this particular dude in chat right now, he has been non-stop messaging me like, yo, did you watch episode 2 yet? Yo, episode 2, I want to hear your reaction. It's like, you gotta watch episode 2. I'm just thinking like, bruh, this episode better be excellent for you nagging me this much about watching this damn episode. So today I finally watched episode 2. Going on about episode 3 now. You asking me, did I watch episode 3 yet? So I watched episode 2. I got to admit, I am wildly disappointed. Bits from the episode, yes. Moments from the episode kind of disappointed me. But what I'm most disappointed about is you. No, I'm kidding, but not really. It's like, man, you were hyping up this episode to be so incredible. I need to react to episode 2. You gotta watch episode 2, man. And I finally watched it. I'm just like, it was a regular episode. It's nothing special. It's just a regular episode. In fact, even less things happened in this episode than the first episode did. So I went in expecting this episode to blow me away, just because this dude non-stop kept on nagging me, like, yo, watch episode 2, it's fantastic. You gotta hurry up and watch episode 2. Did you watch episode 2 yet? I finally watched it, and I'm just thinking, like, it's a regular episode. There's nothing really special about it. Wait till they're all filler until after this week's episode 3 and 4. Now, I got many things to say about this episode. First of all, I am so massively disappointed in you. Man, this dude kept on nagging me like, yo, episode 2, watch episode 2, episode 2. I watched it, it's like, it's nothing special, man. If anything, I don't want to say it's kind of boring. I don't want to go that far, because there was a lot of characters talking, not a lot of things actually happening. So I don't want to just outright say it's boring. The thing I am disappointed, though, is that this bitch-ass dude right here, you know, said, like, Season 2 of Walking Dead is boring when he kept on parading to me to watch this damn episode, and this is what I watch. It's like, man, you're gonna call Season 2 of Walking Dead boring when you kept on hyping up this episode? It's like, motherfucker, I ought to slap you. Aside from that, I am a little disappointed so far. I swear to God, it better get better. What? It better ramp up, like, the visuals. Because so far, I'm not seeing a lot of things, a lot of exciting things. I'm not really seeing too many things. The budget for this episode in particular, I can tell, was rather low. Rather low, because there was not a lot of things that happened. A lot of the settings were confined. A lot of the characters didn't really do anything. There was one CGI moment where it was basically, if you blink, you'll miss it. Aside from that, nothing really happened in this episode. Alright, let's talk about the actual meat of the show. What? Okay, so obviously the episode continues off from where the last episode ended. Actually, in fact, we kind of skipped forward a teensy bit, I think. This episode, we see the character of... What was his name again? What the hell was the Asian cop's name again? No, it's not Victor. I keep thinking it's Kevin. It's not Kevin. Whatever, that guy. Kenny, yes, that's it. I knew it started with a K. Was it Kenny? I think it was Kenny. I know it's not Kenny from South Park. Oh my god, you killed Kenny. So, we kind of skip forward to Kenny chopping down a tree, and we find out later. I also noticed that this episode had a long-ass recap. You know how shows will be like previously on, and then recap the events of the last episode? This had a long recap. Like, a very long recap. And then add on top of that the intro being long as hell. So that was a lot of time took off of the runtime. And these episodes aren't short, by the way. These are like hour-long episodes. So we finally cut back to where the last episode cut off. So we see that the sheriff, we see Christy, I think is her name, and we see Jim and his son Ethan all trapped in the flipped over RV. And then we see the other side. We see Kenny with Tabitha, Julie, and a couple of other characters, like, frantically running to one of the houses, like, let us in, let us in. Like, the people know better. It's like, we cannot let anyone in. But then this character, Donna, she's like, You cannot let those people die. Open that damn door and let them in, but quickly. Well, Julie sees firsthand what these quote-unquote monsters are like. They, they mimic someone you know. They smile, they move slowly, they talk to try to lure you in. They take no damage from bullets. They go inside and then they're treated pretty harshly, but understandably, right? They get tied down, they get separated. Because they don't have any idea what's happening. To them, they're just thinking, oh my god, what kind of, cult community did we just end up in? They're frantic. They're telling us to go inside because these creepy looking people who take no damage from bullets are outside. So we go in to a house full of strangers. They tie us up and separate us. They don't have any idea what's happening. So, anyways, go back to the RV. They hear knocking and tapping all over the RV. It's like, let us in. We're here to help. Not ominous at all. I wish these people would just explain what the hell is happening. Because the sheriff keeps on telling Jim, no, you cannot let them in. Trust me, you cannot. It's like, just explain to him. Even if he doesn't believe it, just explain to the man what the hell is happening. Listen, there are monsters outside that pose as humans, and they try to lure you in. They try to convince you to let them in, and they will devour you. It's like, you can't be serious, man. It's like, at least just tell him. Just tell him. And then we learned that the talisman, that rock that keeps on being hung up, yeah, if you hang that up and close the doors, cover the windows, they can't get in unless you let them in. So okay, that's a talisman. It's not just a random rock with a design. So we learned that as long as you hang up the talisman and it doesn't fall down, then they can't open the door, I guess, or they can't break in. I don't know. Still details yet to come. Over at the house, we get an off-screen explanation. Donna sits down with the mother, Tabitha, and it's like, you're about to have the worst conversation of your life. And then it just cuts away to Julie. We don't even see her reaction. What the hell? You're not even gonna show us her hearing? Okay, you're stuck in this town, there are monsters, and you're stuck here. There's no way to leave. We didn't even get her reaction. It just cuts to her after hearing all of it. And it's like processing it, accepting. We didn't see her laugh at it. We didn't see her be in denial about it. We didn't see any of that. It cut away. So we saw none of that reaction. God damn it, you had one job, show writers. I also found out that the Russo brothers are executive producers on the show. So, definitely adds a little bit more motivation to me watching this now. There was this one scene in the van. Not the van, the RV, where Jim walks over, picks up the talisman, takes it off from hanging next to the window. He just picks it up so how does this work? What does this do? Everyone's just like, Jim, no, don't do that. And then the monsters come in. Thank God that was a dream. Because ain't no way you that stupid, bruh. Come on now. So thank God that was a dream and didn't actually happen. Man, I don't know if I would have rage quit this show. No, I probably wouldn't have. But damn, that would have been such bad writing if it did. He just randomly walks up, picks it off the wall, even after being told not to. He's like, so what does this do? How does this work? And this is where the one blink and you'll miss it CGI moment happens. One of the monsters just break in with the CGI monster face, and then what was her name again? Whatever, the nurse woke up. It's because the acting was too good that they couldn't keep it there, because it'll take away from the rest of the show. Another problem I have So this is definitely probably saving budget for later on. So Donna was explaining to Tabitha her experience. So it turns out everyone who gets trapped here, they see the tree first. They always drive and see a toppled tree, and I guess that's just a sign like, yeah, you're screwed. Just by divine bad luck, you've been chosen to have a terrible fate. Well, too bad for you. You saw the tree, you're screwed. So everyone who gets trapped here sees that tree. So Donna was telling her story to Tabitha. She was with her sister. There was this creepy smiling guy in front of the car. Donna's sister comes out with a shotgun, and then right then and there, that creepy smiling guy ripped her face off. Clean off. And then Donna, out of fear, ran for her life, still hearing her sister scream in pain. Hearing her... Well, basically hearing these monsters just torture her sister to death. Donna reveals it's been like over 3 years since she's been stuck here. See, this is where I have a bit of a problem. You can tell the budget here. You know, it's like, show us. Don't tell us. How expensive could it have been to film that scene, right? Like I said, the budget for this show I don't imagine is too high. Unless they're saving for a lot of stuff later on. Like, come on now. The monsters are just welly dressed people. And when the time comes, they get the CGI monster face. Like, the budget's not too high, from what I can see. It's like, how much would it have cost to film that damn scene? And show us? So, you know, they're definitely doing the show and not... No, they're telling, not showing. It's like, wow. Imagine if I saw that scene as she was explaining it. That would have hit so much harder, right? And I don't think it would have been a gore problem. Seeing someone have her face ripped off. That's not going to be a problem because this is already rated TVMA. In fact, this show has plenty of gore in it. And I'm about to get to that point too, which is another disappointment. So, that character in the last episode who killed that guy for no reason, I think her name is Sarah. She's a little bit cray-cray up in the mind, so she's clearly not stable. She claims she had no choice, whatever. So, she killed that guy last episode for seemingly no reason. She leaves, and then she leaves the door open. So, inside, we're still that nurse and Kenny's dad, you know, the Asian guy who played chess with his very broken English. I can't lie, when he spoke Chinese, I actually understood what he said because it wasn't Mandarin. He was saying, like, where's my son? I want my son. And I cannot believe I actually understood it because it's not Mandarin. So, the nurse puts the Asian guy to sleep. I am nowhere close to hatching the rest of those eggs. She puts the Asian guy to sleep, who is Kenny's dad. She goes up to see the other guy. She sees the other guy dead. And then she turns around, sees the door wide open with two creepy, smiling monsters just standing there. Just standing there. She runs away, obviously. And then they walk in. Well, it cuts away. Morning hits. The family we've been following is fine. They reunite. But then when Kenny gets back to the town, he notices that the door's open. He goes in and he sees not only the nurse dead, he sees his father dead as well. Now that is sad. That is sad. And it was brutal too. Because you see the way his father looked. He was mutilated. His body was destroyed. Now, my problem is, we didn't see it. It cuts away. We didn't see any of the carnage. Come on. I see people be torn apart on The Walking Dead all the time, and you can't even show us these monsters ripping someone apart? Come on now. Like, that's my other disappointment. I have yet to see someone actually brutally die. I've only so far seen the aftermath of the dead bodies. I have not seen yet how these monsters consume and destroy the human body. All I've seen so far is the aftermath, the dead corpse that remains after. It's like... They really cut back on the budget for the second episode. They're saving for something big, and they better be. They better be saving their budget for something big at the end of the first season. Boy, I swear to God. So, this episode, while wasn't bad, you know, it was more of a plot-driven story than action. You know? Our characters learn what's happening. We see them go through it in real time. But, like, not a lot happens. It's mostly just characters talking and explaining what's going on. Our characters are settling in, meeting the characters, right? Realizing what position they're in. I don't want to say it's boring per se, because, you know, I'm not against characters just talking. But you have to balance it out. If the entire episode is just characters talking, then there's not a lot to engage with. There's not a lot to keep your attention. So you need some sort of exciting element in your episode, instead of the entire episode being mostly just talking and hardly anything really happening. So this episode was was very much disappointing to me, especially the fact that my friend non-stop hyped it up, saying episode 2's a banger, you need to watch it now. Getting my ass hyped up like this episode better bang. It better, you know, better make me want to watch the rest of the season right then and there, forget doing anything else. Nah, it was just a regular episode. It's just a regular ass episode with like barely anything exciting happening. So I'm not gonna lie, I am wildly disappointed by the second episode. Once again, not really the fault of the episode, more so this dude right here kept on hyping up the second episode. Hopefully the rest of the season will improve. I mean, it has to, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't have had 2 seasons and currently airing episode 3. Bro, episode 3 though? Or 10? I don't know. Man, this dude refused to watch any more of The Walking Dead past season 2, and this guy recommended this show to me. Oh, that's it! That's shiny! That is shiny! I can tell. That is shiny right there. Shiny happened right as I'm salty about this episode. That is a shiny right there. I can tell. I can see the difference. I don't know if you can see the difference. I can see the difference. Look at that shiny Pansage right there. Okay, that's what the shiny looks like. And that's... Okay, it's quite noticeable now, back to back. So that's the shiny, that's the regular. We got 1 shiny tonight. Awesome! Yes! Yo, getting a shiny Pokemon never changes. You get excited no matter what. You always get excited when you get a shiny. I'm just glad I was able to notice it, right? So we have 1 shiny out of the 2 we need. We are moving up in the world, folks. Alright, now I need to count how many eggs that took. We were pretty close to odds there. I need to see how many eggs that took. Alright, let's see. Okay, so that was box 22. So let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 times 30. I am definitely using a calculator here. I did math wrong earlier today. 17 times 30. 510. So that is slightly above odds. What? Let's see, 6, 12, 18, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So 510 plus 28. So this shiny Pansage came after 538 eggs. Slightly over odds. Slightly over the 1 in 512 odds. But that's okay, we take it. Slightly over odds, that's still fine. Like, very slightly over odds. And I may as well move it now before I forget. So, it was this one. Yeah, this one. So what I did was I cleared out... Didn't I? Okay, it was the first box. So I cleared out the first box in order to, like, put all this stuff. So these were the previous 3 shiny Patrats, and the level 100 level 100 Watchog I ended up getting from breeding all those eggs. So this will be where the second and possibly third, I don't know, second shiny Pansage will be, as well as whatever level the Pansage I'm using to breed is. It'd be pretty hilarious if it turned out to be level 100 also. Oh yeah, let me check one more thing. Make sure today's date is correct. Today is October 15th. Oh, I didn't even check the nature yet. So let's see. This shiny Pansage. Naughty nature. Yeah, that's it. Naughty nature. And I don't know how many eggs we hatched tonight. I lost count. Alright, we got a shiny tonight. Excellent. Muy excelente. So now, let's play some music. Anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with episode 2 of From. So I'm hoping it picks up. It better pick up. Swear to God. Y'all holding back your budget. I know you can do better. I know you're saving your budget for something better later on. I swear to God, I might be the only person out there who's disappointed with episode 2 of From. Maybe it was because I had, like, you know, an external influence telling me or hyping me up that episode 2 was goated. It's awesome. You need to watch it now. Drop everything and watch it. Maybe because I was hyped up for the episode that I was expecting something bigger and then it was nothing special. So maybe that's why I'm, like, the only person to be disappointed by it. But, you know, I just can't also help but notice, like, a lot of the other problems I've noticed, where they tell, don't show, and they also, you know, like, are also holding back on the budget, you know, not seeing any carnage happen, but only seeing the aftermath. I want to see these monsters tear someone apart, right? I don't just want to see the aftermath, I want to see it happen in front of me on my screen. Isn't that kind of psychotic? You guys ever think about that? I think about that sometimes. You know, the reason we watch these kind of mature shows or movies is because we want to see deaths. We want to see carnage, right? What does that say about someone who wants to see that, right? Is it something about, like, we probably cannot and are not allowed to see it in real life, so we want to see it play out in front of our screen, right? You know, it's like, I watch Walking Dead, I want to see certain characters die, right? Like the villain characters, or like, I want to see some meaningful deaths. What does that say about someone who wants to see death, right? So am I psychotic for watching From and wanting to see some, you know, some disturbing moments? I want to be scarred. I want to be kept up at night because that scene was just so brutal. I want that. So, hopefully episode 3 of From is better. Now, I'm still having a hard time seeing, like, what happened to the music. Yeah, I'm having a really hard time seeing From, and, like, how it could really last for 2 full seasons and now a 3rd season. But I will find out in due time. I also don't really understand the title of the show. Why is it called From? It's such an odd name for a show. And I don't really see how, in the plot, the name From will really make sense. Unless we're talking, like, where these monsters are from. You know, where these characters came from. Then maybe something like that. But it's still such a weird title for a show. So how's everyone doing? Oh, by the way, did you guys hear about the Pokemon leaks? So I want to mention one thing from the Pokemon leaks. Now, this was a prediction of mine, and if these leaks are true, then I was right in my prediction. So, the thing I was predicting is that not only Zygarde, but also Xerneas and Yveltal would get Mega Evolutions. And these leaks say that Zygarde will get a Mega Evolution. Now, that will be broken as hell. So, I don't want to hear nothing about why Skarmory cannot get a Mega Evolution. So, these leaks are saying that... Oh, look, I didn't even hatch all the eggs. These leaks are saying that Zygarde will get a Mega Evolution. And that's what I was predicting. Because I was thinking, how are you going to have the legendaries of the generation itself not use the generation gimmick? Like, how are you going to have Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde not Mega Evolve when that's the gimmick of the generation? Like, you know, Solgaleo and Lunala and Necrozma, they tied into Z-Crystals quite heavily. Zacian and Zamazenta, not really that much with Dynamax and Gigantamax. Maybe one day we'll get a Gigantamax, Zacian and Zamazenta. I think that'd be cool as hell. That would make a lot of sense. Do I even need to say anything for Scarlet and Violet? Obviously, Terrasolizing is a big player for the box legendaries. Kinda. So, like, how are you gonna not have Gen 6 legendaries Mega Evolve, right? Hold on. I think this was the song. I can't remember if it was phase 1 or phase 2. No, I think it was phase 2. Actually, maybe it was phase 1. I think it was phase 1. Hold on, let me see phase 1, how that sounded. Oh, hell no, it's not phase 1. It was phase 2. I remember phase 2 sounding differently. How Twitch ads turned my follower drought into a follower flood. So my friend sent me a couple of things saying like if I simply turn off ads, then, you know, I'll get an influx of viewers. Well, I don't make money off of Twitch anyways. And I'm not gonna lie, I kinda highly doubt if I simply turn off ads, then a flood of viewers will come in. I don't do this for views anyways. I don't do this for money nor views. I do it for me. For fun. No bag? Man, I never got a bag. What do you mean? So yeah, the leaks are saying that Zygarde is getting a Mega Evolution. If that's really the case, I was right. My prediction was right. I was predicting Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde would all get Mega Evolutions. So far, based on this leak, it seems like Zygarde will. We still don't know if Xerneas and Yveltal will. I'm predicting they will. I mean, it'd be kind of lame if you gave Zygarde a Mega, but not the other two. So it makes sense that all three would get it, right? So that was one of my predictions, and it seems like it's probably true. So yay, a W prediction on my end. Another victory under my belt. It's scarce, but, you know, we take them. You know, it's kind of crazy that this leak even happened, you know? But, what are you gonna do, right? Man, do I need to go outside and see why my dog's barking so much? I'm gonna go take a look. It's no big deal. They're just playing, so it's fine. How's life? It's okay. Nothing really special is happening these days. I was alone last night on Thanksgiving. It's gonna be the exact same for New Year's. You know, what's new? Well, I'll be working a lot more for the next week because my sister is going on her honeymoon to Paris. She's going on honeymoon to Paris, which means a lot more work for me to do. Now I gotta wake up early and feed the dogs. I gotta do the ordering at work whenever there needs to be. And I just generally need to do more. We're watching the Spy X Family movie on New Year's. I'm surprised you didn't say From. We're gonna watch more From together on New Year's. Man, have you nagged your girlfriend to, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna say that. Well, I already said half of it. I may as well say the rest. Did you nag her to watch the show? Like you nagged me? You know, last time I talked about, like, what amiibos I was missing. Turns out I don't have the Player 2 Cloud. So, whoops. I don't have that one. So, I think I'm only missing, like, 3 or 4 Smash amiibos. I'm missing Meta Knight, Yoshi, Player 2 of Cloud, and Corn. So that's 4. I'm only missing 4 Smash amiibos. You know, now that it's getting colder outside, and I'm trying my best to avoid getting sick. Man, you guys heard previously how this changing of seasons got my entire family feeling like shit. One by one, they're all going to the hospital. So I'm really trying to avoid getting sick as the season changes. So, yesterday, when I frickin' mowed the lawn, I had to pull out a scarf, just in case. Now, I couldn't find where my scarf was. I already lost a scarf previously. You know, my dad gave me as it turns out, an expensive brand name scarf. You guys know I don't care about that. I didn't even know it was. And I'm just thinking, why would you give me this? Any cheap-ass scarf would work for me. Why'd you give me such an expensive one? Well, I just had to go ahead and lose it. Damn, I kind of like the way that scarf looked too. But oh well. So, my dad gave me another scarf, which I tried to look for. I couldn't find it. My dad's just like, that too was expensive. Why do you keep misplacing things? I'm just like, Dad, it's been like a year since I used it. And since last year, you know, Uncle came. We had to completely clean up the house and shift things around. How am I supposed to know where it's at now? Well, thankfully it was just in a drawer in my closet. Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to not get sick this season. There's a big ball of spit on my screen. Oh. Let's see, today is also International Shawarma Day. I went back to Shelby's legendary shawarma to get more. Man, what's funny is, so when I got there, there was a big-ass lineup. A huge lineup. It took me like half an hour to not only place my order, but then get my food. So today being National Shawarma Day, and you know the place sells shawarmas, it was on sale. You know, normally their shawarmas, like a rab, would go for like $12 and change, and then a poutine would be like the same thing, maybe a little bit more. Last time I got a beef rab and a chicken poutine, and then I got a mango juice. All that came out to just under $35. Like, it's pretty expensive. But today, a wrap was $5 and change each. A poutine was like $7. So I ended up getting 3 wraps and a poutine. I ended up paying like $28 and something. So today I got 3 wraps and a bowl of poutine for even less than 1 wrap and 1 poutine plus a drink last time. So hell yeah, I was gonna go today. I figured, well, since it's cheap today and I can actually get more for less than last time, I may as well get some extra to let my family try it. Man, I've now had shawarma 2 times, like twice in a row now. Like twice. For the past 2 weeks I've had it, okay? So I don't think I need to go again next week, right? I'm not gonna go there every single week. It just so happened, you know, today was a day that they were gonna have a sale. I guess if I waited like 1 more week before I really let my cravings take over and I went out and tried it, you know? If I waited 1 more week, right? Well, how the hell was I supposed to know a week later was International Shawarma Day? I don't even know when Thanksgiving happens. All I know is it happens in October for Canada for some reason. You know, I still associate Thanksgiving more with November than October. October I associate with Halloween, right? Oh yeah, something else I heard earlier today. So I only learned this, oops, wrong egg. I only learned this because it played on the news earlier tonight. I don't really pay attention to the news when I'm eating dinner. My family watches the news during then. And because I don't listen to a lot of like pop music artists, I didn't hear about this. It turns out it was in the news for quite a while. I didn't know about it. Turns out Taylor Swift is actually coming to Toronto. This is the first time I'm hearing of it. I texted my friends. They're just like, bruh, you only just now found out? It's been on the news for like weeks now. I'm just like, I don't listen to music like that. I don't follow Taylor Swift. Sorry to all you Swifties out there. Like, I don't follow the news. I don't listen to her music. How was I supposed to know? Not like any of you guys told me. Even if you did tell me, like, it's not really important information I need to keep in my mind to remember. So yeah, it's like, turns out, Taylor Swift is coming to Toronto for a concert. I wonder if, one friend of mine tried to buy tickets. Probably sold out the negative millisecond that the tickets went on sale. Okay, let's see what other music we can play. Whoops. I just replaced an egg there. I hope you appreciate all the work I put in to hatch these eggs faster. Well, I can't think of anything else, so I'll just play this. What are you guys up to tonight? On this, well, pretty average Tuesday night. Nothing really special going on tonight. You know something that I'm now doing? I don't usually do this. I'm conditioning my hair. Or, the very few bits of hair I have left. Normally, I only shampoo. I know that's not necessarily the healthiest thing, but like, man, summertime, it's hot, it gets greasy extra fast when I condition it. So summertime, I just shampoo it without conditioning. Now, because it's winter, it's a lot more brisk and crisp outside. Yeah, I kind of need to start conditioning my hair for the colder seasons. Alright, I'm gonna mention this. Now, I hope this doesn't get me in trouble. So, let me tell you guys a gross thing that I need to do sometimes. And, well, you're gonna hear it whether you like it or not. So, we all get ingrown hairs sometimes, right? We all get them. But for me, sometimes the ingrown hairs I get aren't like, a little black circle on my skin where it's just the hair underneath. Sometimes, and I don't know how many other people out there get this, sometimes I have an ingrown hair like completely grow underneath my skin, like entirely underneath my skin. So I look at my skin, I see a black line completely underneath my skin, and I gotta get that hair out. You know, it's just gonna keep on growing entirely under my skin, so I need to get that hair out. Now, obviously, like, a tweezer's not gonna work because there's no entrance to go and grab it, right? I need to create an entrance. So I essentially need to cut myself whenever I spot those. Now, I'm not about to press a knife against my skin, and I sure as hell don't have a scalpel. So what I do is I use a needle. I use a needle to try to, like, you know, just scrape away at the spot until, like, a line is formed deep enough where I can reach it. And you guys know I don't like needles. I don't like getting poked. So, you know, it's very nerve-wracking for me. But yeah, that's just something that's just a gross little detail I need to do sometimes. I essentially, you know, cut myself with a needle. I don't know if that's something I need to technically go to the doctor for, you know? You're like, hey doc, I got this hair underneath my skin. Because if I do that, the doctor will definitely grab a scalpel, and I'm just like, oh, no thank you. Am I the only one who gets that? Okay, seems like the maintenance is down now for, you know, the Switch. I wasn't able to join any more Necrozma raids earlier because of the damn maintenance. Which, let me check. I think they're not hosting anymore. Okay, yeah, it seems like the maintenance is down and they're still hosting. I am going to say screw Rockruff for now, and I'm going to swap games to hunt for Necrozma as I do this. One second, folks. What do you guys think of the... What do you guys think the chances of me getting another shiny within these remaining eggs are going to be? Saves me the trouble of getting another 810. And pre-walking all of those as well. You know, what's funny to think is, the amount of steps I take is still the same. It's just whether or not you see it, right? Because regardless, I still have to do the same amount of steps. It's just, how reduced is it for here? Let me tell this group I'm hunting with I just hatched a shiny Pansage. Oh boy, let me tell you, I stink. I stink. It is warm as hell in this room, by the way. And, I could have changed into a tank top to keep myself, you know, cool while doing this, but I forgot to. Now I need to shower before bed. You know something else I still need to do? I still need to go out and buy a picture frame for my college license. Because that finally came in the mail. My friends were saying like, yo, give the school another $300 for their picture frame. I'm just like, I'm going to spend $1. I'm going to spend like a couple bucks at the dollar store. Because you guys know, some schools actually do that. They have the, they sell picture frames to you as an option for you to hang up whatever it is you get from them. And I've seen some schools sell a damn picture frame for like $300. I'm just like, you got me fucked up if you think I'm gonna give my cheap ass school any more money. You know how money hungry the school I went to was? Every chance they got, they squeezed every last penny out of you. God damn, that school was cheap as hell. As if they didn't have enough money from all our tuitions. And the school I went to just kept on renovating. Just kept on adding more buildings to the school. Just kept on expanding. I'm just like, okay. I can physically see where my money went to. All I can say is, like, pre-pandemic, they were pretty generous with the food, with free food. Because a lot of times I would arrive on campus, they would just hand out like little bags of breakfast, or like after class you go to the cafeteria area, they would just have like a bunch of free shit for you to take. At one point they handed out entire loaves of bread just for free. I think I took like 2 of them. Like, there was even a table you can line up. You can grab yourself a literal bowl of cereal and pour yourself milk for it as well. Like, aside from my school being cheap as hell, they were at least generous with the food they were giving out. At least, like, at first. Obviously, after the pandemic, they didn't do that anymore. So we're about to hit 2 hours. Nope, we just hit it 2 hours. What? We just hit it? We just hit 2 hours. I'm kind of curious, how many eggs have I hatched so far? Like, how many boxes have I hatched? I'm gonna take a look. So previously, I would hatch 5 at a time, but the first time I hatched 4. So let's see. Four. Let's see, 8, so that's 12. 13, 14. So I assume I ended here last time. So far I have hatched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm about to finish my 6th box. So right about now, if I was doing this normally, I would be like somewhere around box 3. End of box 3, maybe? I don't know, somewhere around box 3. But instead, now I've doubled how many I've hatched. I like the sound of that, but that's a lot of extra work for me behind the scenes. It's a positive, though, right? It's only a positive. I do more behind the scenes. It's only a positive. Look at how much faster we're hatching these eggs now. Why I didn't think to do this sooner? Well, you all know I'm stupid. I don't think. I don't think before I do things. And I'm not entirely at fault. None of you guys suggested it to me either. None of you guys thought of it too. You know, I'm also just now realizing I got the second shiny Patrat near the end of September, and now it's mid-October. Hey, it's a step in the right direction. Instead of taking a month to get a shiny, hey, half a month. It's better than nothing. So, by that, I should get the second shiny Pansage by the beginning of November. Alright, I'm gonna change the music now. Well, after this part's the best part. Well, no, it's the best part of the song, like the end of it. So how many more boxes do I have now? Okay, that's a lot more than I expected. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more boxes. So far I've hatched 6 tonight. I think I can hatch 1 more box and then maybe save the remaining 6 boxes for next time. So let's do 1 more box. We got 1 shine. Oops. I almost messed that up. I kinda almost forgot I was doing Dynamax Adventures online with other players. Whoops. I almost forgot that. Yeah, I definitely need a shower before I go to bed, because pew, I stink. Was that? No, that was only 1. That was only 1 eggs. 1 eggs? 1 plural eggs? Just took down Necrozma. Let's see if I can get this blue chunk of crystal. Damn, if only Necrozma had a very vibrant red shiny. Nope, no shiny. Hey, the 10 Dynite ores are pretty nice though. Whoops. Man, this dude I'm hunting with, he just said BRB and then sent a toilet emoji. I just replied skibbity. Do I have brain rot? Cringe? That's cringe? I see a toilet, the first thing I think is skibbity? You know, I'm really glad I was actually able to notice shiny Pansage. A part of me was afraid I would just not notice it until I checked... Until I was at the PC box. I saw a red star indicating it's shiny. It's like, oh, that's shiny. I didn't even notice. I didn't even react to it because I didn't notice. Thankfully, I noticed it. I don't know how noticeable it was for you guys. For me, it was actually quite noticeable. Oh yeah, someone else I'm hunting with, their name is... Wait, let me see. Just to make sure I have the right version. Is Izanagi. So I wonder if that's a Persona reference, or I think that's like a JoJo character name? I don't know. Wait a second, what? Hold on. Oh. Nothing. Never mind. Izanagi is a Japanese folklore thing. Yeah, I kind of figured with a persona embodying it, with it inspiring a persona, I kind of figured. Do I actually know the legitimate folklore? No. No, I do not. You know, I didn't have to go to work today, but I did wake up early twice. I woke up early the first time to let my dogs out. My sister slept over at her husband's place, so I had to wake up early to let them out. You know, the moment my dogs wake up, I need to wake up and let them out, or at least someone does. You know, Toby's old now, like, you know, he has elderly bladder. So we don't want to risk anything and, you know, wait too long, or maybe he'll pee in the house. It's not like he will certainly, right? But, you know, we just don't want to risk it since he's old now. And then when do you go to sleep, bruh? Not anytime soon. I sleep at like 1, probably not 2 a.m. You know, aside from that, because I didn't have to go into work today, we were going to wake up a little bit early to go out for breakfast before before the rest of my family went to work. We were just all going to go out to breakfast. You know, there's a place nearby. They know us. We eat there. It's cheap, convenient, quick. And most importantly, it makes sure my dads eat. It makes sure my dad eats. I put the S on the wrong word there. Yeah, make sure my dad actually eats something in the morning. But this morning my dad said he didn't want to go, so yeah, woke up for nothing. By that point I was already up. I may as well just get ready for the day. Well, on days like this, when I don't have to go into work, my dad hasn't eaten yet, I'll make him something before going out, before he goes out to work. I'll make him a sandwich for breakfast before he goes out. Whoops, I almost knocked that over. Man, I need to straighten this again. Well, we're almost done for tonight. Just a couple more eggs, and then I'm gonna go shower real quick. Damn, I didn't think I'd stink this bad right now. I guess I did go out today. I did walk around quite a bit. Even if it is cold outside, that doesn't mean I don't sweat, right? And it was pretty packed and warm when I was ordering food earlier today. We got one shiny tonight. That's a win. That's a victory. We take those. I also been drinking a good amount of water tonight because I think I have a little bit of indigestion tonight. Does water help with that? Drinking more water helps with that, right? Or is that just making it worse? Like, I don't know how that could make it worse. Wouldn't that just soften the food as it's being processed? Nice. An acid spray plus a D-Max grass move just one-shots a Seismitoad. You know, the Pokemon with a pair of boobs on top of its head. What the hell was that sound? Okay, these are the last 5 eggs for tonight. Five more eggs. Let's do this. I don't know, so it seems like maybe a general rule of thumb, I could pre-walk like 7 to 8 boxes of eggs before doing this, so it doesn't take up too much time. Instead of me collecting all 800 eggs, and then immediately after start pre-walking all 800 of those eggs, right? So I could save a little time by just doing however much is needed for the stream before actually just doing the rest. So that could save up on some time. We'll have to see. It's still a learning process for me. Was that all of them? Oh no, I still have 3 more. I didn't think that was all of them. It didn't feel like I hatched 5 eggs there. Well, the Vileplume just got knocked out by Photon Geyser, so there goes 10 ores. Well, actually, no, we already got knocked out earlier in the raid, so never mind. I was destined for 8 ores to begin with. Alright, second last egg for tonight. Alright, last egg for tonight. Well, no shiny. But before we end, let's see if I can at least get any shinies here. Necrozma was caught. Well, no shiny Excelgor, no Marshtomp, no Seismitoad, and... No, that's not shiny. Pooh. Alright, that's it for tonight. Tonight was successful. We hatched a lot more eggs, and we actually got a shiny. One of the 2 shinies of this we will need. So slowly but surely we are working. We're making progress. Next time we have 6 more boxes of pre-walked eggs to hatch. So, that'll be next time. Thanks for watching, guys. See you then. Okay, bye.